This episode is brought to you by Jacked. Get your dick hard with this Jacked energy drink.
Yeah.
Get those veins pumping in your dick with Jacked. It comes in cherry and blueberry.
Cherry and blueberry.
Yeah, the only two flavors. Oh, and cherry, blueberry, and original. I don't know what original tastes like.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, probably piss.
Yeah, or Coke.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nicknames Movies, episode number 10 for the week of June 29th, 2019. Each and every week, we bring you all the cinema love and keep you informed about what's going on in Hollywood. I am your host, Nick Naming Movies, and alongside me is my co-host, Zach. How's it going?
It's going well. I will also attempt to name some movies.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying you don't. You're my co-host in naming the movies.
It's more like I'm around your shoulder going like, oh, and that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but, all right, so...
It's like if Wikipedia had a plug-in.
Yeah. Well, the only reason... It's a good thing you bring it up because your wife got on me.
Yeah, she was very...
The other week about...
upset.
After so many episodes of recording the podcast, she just now figures out that it's called Nicknames Movies. Great marketing on your part, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, I've told her to download and listen to it.
Yeah.
So that says a lot to my wife. Will not.
But she's like, why is it called Nick Names Movies? Why isn't it called something like Nick and Zach Names Movies or something like that? I was like, I don't know. We came up with it like episode 1, the pilot episode.
I think you threw it out as just an off the cuff thing.
It is.
And I was like, yeah, whatever, I don't care.
And it'll probably be called something else later on down the line, but you know, we got something going.
Until
so
then.
go. Yeah. Why not? So it's working so far. But I mean, as long as it's called that, it's called that. We'll come up with something. If somebody else comes up with a great name for it, you know, we'll consider it and then throw it out the window. Because this is Nicknames Movies, the podcast where we talk about what we've been watching and give you our thoughts. Want to be a part of the cast? You can head on over to patreon.com/nicknamesmovies, where you can donate as low as $1 and get the episode a day early on Patreon. If you want to donate, no big deal. Every episode will also be live every Sunday on YouTube or your podcast service of choice, including Spotify, iTunes, and anything else you can think of. Last.fm, SoundCloud, maybe? I don't know.
Mixer.
Yeah, it's on Mixer. It's on Zune.
Is it actually on Mixer?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't use Mixer. I got Discord and all that.
Oh, okay.
Is that the same thing? Mixer and Discord?
I don't know. It's just a word I know.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
You can also head over to tpublic.com/user/nicknamesmovies to find our merch and help represent your favorite new podcast. We're also accepting donations for merch designs. So if you'd like to submit your design, please hit us up at on YouTube, you know. Yeah, hit us up on YouTube.
Very professional operation we're running here.
Oh, of course. You know, it's episode 10. It's not episode 10,000.
Yeah.
Just get off my back, all right? Get all the way up.
No, we've already established I'm around your shoulder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're basically like
learn the lore.
Like
Jesus.
I'm a pirate, and you're like the parrot.
Yes.
You're like a Yago.
But I can say more than just repeat what you say.
Yeah. You're like a Yago.
Well, I'm not Gilbert Gottfried.
Why not?
Because I'm not. I'm sorry.
Let's just dive into the previews. Zach, what have you been watching?
Well, I have been watching, ever since you started watching Evangelion, I've been like, you know what? It's been a while, and I want to see what these changes are for Ava that Netflix has made. So I'm going to jump in like a little bit. I didn't watch from beginning to end.
Right.
I had some scenes in mind that I was curious about, and so I jumped in to kind of see how those went. So there was that. And then I believe, I don't think I said this on the last podcast, but it might have been, my timeline's all messed up because I've seen you more than once a week.
I'm sorry.
But the last time we recorded, you mentioned, or I mentioned, someone mentioned Agretzko.
Yes.
And then after we were done recording, we sat down and ended up watching the rest of the first season, which you hadn't seen.
Yeah.
Well, that same night after you left, I thought, well, I've already started this back up.
Right.
Let me just go ahead and watch season 2. And then I proceeded to watch all of season 2
Because they're like 15 minutes each.
that
per
same
episode.
night. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched season 2 of Agretzko.
Is it good?
It is. Whereas season 1 is kind of more focused on Agretzko kind of finding her purpose
Mm-hmm.
in work. The second season is more just about her trying to know her own worth, I guess.
Okay.
And to not settle.
Okay. It's very relatable to most white collar jobs.
This is why I like the show, is because if for those who don't know, Agretzko is an anime on Netflix made by Sanrio, which is the same makers of Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Which when I say that, a lot of people are probably going to be like,
yeah,
why?
I don't like.
Why?
I'm not a 5-year-old Japanese girl. Why would I care about this?
But it's like an adult show.
Yeah.
Like the whole show deals with things that children are going to have no concept of.
Right.
Like Agretzko is this accounting clerk, and
That's not relatable to kids.
in this like big office building in Japan, and she like hates her job. She doesn't want to wake up and go to work.
As
anymore.
we all do.
Yeah. So like that's the first season. It's her coming to terms with how she does at work and what she does for work.
Yeah.
And kind of like your outlook on life changes how your life actually is. It's all perception based. And so yeah, that was an enjoyable watch, season 2.
Oh, cool.
And then I also watched yesterday.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a quick little review of that because I know that wasn't our main focus for this episode.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I really liked it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, my wife and I went to go see it because we've been looking forward to this. I think I've mentioned it on maybe every other podcast leading up. Is that we've really been looking forward to it because it looked good.
Yeah. Keep saying yeah a lot. I'm just agreeing with you. I don't want to be that guy.
I got that.
Well, no, I'm just I don't want to be. It's really. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's.
You have a pet peeve for the yeah.
Yeah, I would hate listening to that voice going. Yeah. Yeah. I'm agreeing with you.
The issue is like you're employing like polite conversation tactics. What you've been taught is like it's like
I did that on purpose.
That's how you keep showing someone you're interested in what they're saying and you're not zoning out.
Right.
Granted, that doesn't always work, and you can sometimes use that as a crutch. But yeah, that's what you're doing.
Right.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to judge you. But yeah, it does get in the way of podcasts.
Of course it does. It makes it a lot. I don't know. It's kind of weird word for it. I can't think of it, but it's kind of harder to listen to. Like it's probably annoying to listen to one guy chime in every 5 seconds. But you enjoyed the movie of yesterday.
Yes. I did.
Could you summarize it for people who haven't maybe heard of it?
Yeah. So this guy who is like a struggling artist, and he's been trying to get picked up, his music picked up, or just a gig to play in which he gets recognition for like 10 years. He's basically a failed guitarist at this point.
Oh, wow.
And then one day he's just riding his bike home, and there's this huge power surge across the entire world.
Which would kill millions.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you caught that, but there is a throwaway line about how what happened is basically Y2K.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was the explanation or that was the
them,
comparison.
That was them saying like, yeah, that's what it was, and then kind of like.
Okay, so as the throwaway line, that's horrible.
Yeah, well, and I think it's indicative of what this movie's focus is because they never really explain past that, and there's some things that happen which are like, are we really not going to talk? We're not going to get to the bottom of that. There's no answer for that.
It doesn't matter because there's a lot of things besides the main premise. Like, I'll just let you continue.
Yeah. So he's riding home on his bike when there's this big power surge. All the lights go out. He ends up getting hit by a bus.
Yeah, he's dead.
And hits his head, obviously.
Of course.
He's not dead.
Oh.
He wakes up in the
I
hospital.
thought the movie was over.
He did lose 2 teeth. But
the 2 side teeth.
Then, as he is periodically mentioning the Beatles or playing a song,
as one British man does,
of course, nobody knows who the Beatles are.
What?
So
there's the twist.
Everyone's knowledge of the Beatles, their entire catalog, has been wiped off, like, existence.
So this is what I was trying to say a second ago. It's not just the Beatles. It's several things.
It's not. Yeah.
It's also
it's a running gag when he'll say something and people will be like, "What the fuck is a Coke?"
Yeah. What is Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, that was good.
And which is funny because like I enjoyed the movie, but in the back of my head I'm like, did the Beatles really like cause Coca-Cola or Harry Potter?
And, like, I don't know. Is that how you took it? Like anything tangentially related to
That's
the
what
Beatles?
I thought. It was like a butterfly effect.
Well, the first thing that he discovers that has also vanished aside from the Beatles is Oasis.
Yeah.
Which is another British pop band. So I'm like, wait, is it just all British pop?
Yeah.
But then it's like Coke, cigarettes,
which
it's just like a random assortment of things. So yeah, there's no telling what things don't exist anymore.
I don't know. I'm sure that there are some eagle-eyed viewers that probably are like connecting the dots and everything, but it doesn't really matter. That's not the main focus of the movie.
No, it's not. It's very much not, because they do not spend any time on that whatsoever. Yeah. It's like that's the premise, and we're gonna see how that affects these characters. It's much less of a plot-driven thing, as opposed to a character study, I guess, if that makes sense.
Right.
So basically, the crux of the movie is what would happen if you were the only one left that remembered the Beatles, and you could play guitar.
Yeah.
Well, you maybe want to pass off their work as your own.
Yeah, of course.
Kind of. Doesn't really start that way, but then it kind of gets to a crescendo where he's basically selling out venues because he's launching like this 20-song or 30-song album.
Yeah, why would he use all of like the number 1 hits in the first album?
Well, I think that's what kind of makes him an endearing character to this guy. I can't remember. It's not Jake, is it?
It's
Jack Malik.
Of course, it's Jack.
Played by Himesh Patel.
I think it's his first leading role. I believe.
Yeah, you are correct.
A great voice, great actor.
Yeah, he was great.
Can I say that I love Lily James?
Yes, yeah.
She's fantastic.
My wife also loves Lily James.
She's just adorable.
Yeah,
it makes me want to actually watch Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
It's okay.
Was it?
Yeah,
okay.
It was all right.
I never read the book.
It's a fun little nothing popcorn flick.
Well, I hate Seth Grahame-Smith, but like,
I don't even know who that is.
He wrote Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Oh, I think you've said this before, and
At
I
your
just
apartment.
don't care.
Yeah. He was discovered by Tim Burton, and so they made Dark Shadows and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and now he's a producer in Hollywood. And
I'll say I think I enjoyed the movie Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter more than I did Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Okay, even though they're kind of at the same.
They're the same ilk, but I thought the prior did its job a little better.
Yeah, one's a little bit more. One you can take a little bit more tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
And the other one's more like.
I mean, they definitely play it not straight for Pride and Prejudice, but.
Okay. Anyway, back to yesterday.
Yeah. I don't even remember where I left off.
That's okay. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
you recommend it?
I do recommend it. It's endearing. That's what I was gonna say. The main character in this isn't unlikable because he's not doing it for fame and glory. He gets kind of sucked into the vortex of that just by virtue of kind of people gravitating around this music, which is so good.
Yeah.
But in the end, what he really wants to do is just kind of connect with someone, because there's this like sense of being alone, even when you're not, when you're like a very lonely famous person in the world who's dropping like 2 of one of the best songs ever recorded every day.
Yeah.
for like a year straight.
And he's not like a super Beatles fan. Like he's trying to remember it off the top of his head.
He doesn't remember any of the lyrics, so not any of the lyrics, but he has to struggle to remember every single Beatles song,
Yeah.
word for word, as he's releasing them.
Like what was the name?
Eleanor Rigby is the
Rigby.
big one he struggles with.
Well, because it's got a whole bunch of like weird nonsense lyrics, like "I Am the Octopus," where it's like, what is the point of the song? And
yeah, well, and I think the
it's a good song.
the ones he seems to struggle with are the personal ones.
Yeah.
Except for "Let It Be," which it's like
I actually love that scene.
Yeah.
That made me laughing.
So
Had me laughing.
what's great about this movie is if you're a Beatles fan, there's so much love put into this.
Oh yeah.
Just from like the end of A Day in the Life is used as kind of this build up crescendo audibly, over and over, not over and over again, but like when he first gets hit by the bus, that whole like rising sound where it's like violins. That's the end of A Day in the Life, and they do it again a couple times.
It's used as a motif.
Right. Thank you. That was what I was looking for.
A late motif.
Or in the Let It Be scene, that's how Paul first performed it to his mother.
I did not know that.
In his living room home on the piano.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And then there's the rooftop performance.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so much love and kind of, I don't want to say worship because that it does border on worship a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean,
the music. It's just like appreciation for the music, which is really nice. I think that's what grabs me with this movie that I was lacking with Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right.
That Bohemian Rhapsody, even though it had all this great music in everything, there was never a feeling of like this means something to someone behind the camera. Like this is just a cash grab because biopic.
Yeah.
And
really famous band. Everybody loves the
great music.
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury. That's gonna sell.
Yeah.
Like that's all you care about.
That's
Especially
what
because
I got from the person is dead.
Exactly, and you can't refute anything that's in there.
Yeah.
But with this, they took the time to like talk to Paul, Ringo, Yoko Ono, like all these people who have like this history with the Beatles, and make sure that everything they were doing was right and respectful and not some fucking lie that you want to push out to make a buck.
Right.
Which is what Bohemian Rhapsody was. Half that fucking movie's not even real.
Yeah. And they don't have to worry about parts of it being real is because it's its own story.
Right, exactly.
They make their own story with this.
They are using the music to establish their own narrative. They're not trying to be like, well, this is what happened to Paul when he was in grade school. I think there's already like 3 movies about how the Beatles came together, or like loosely based on that.
Yeah, I would be hard pressed to try to think of the name of one of them, but I guarantee you there are either biopics or like half attempts, or what have you. But I do want to talk to you about the
twist.
Not necessarily the twist, but the character that he talks to that one scene, which is cameoed by a specific actor that I learned about after the fact.
I couldn't recognize him.
I don't want to say, just because I feel like people would start looking for it at that one scene.
Well, I think people would probably be. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like they would be looking for that actor in that one scene.
Right. Gotcha. But I do like how powerful they filmed that scene. The film is directed by Danny Boyle, who is a fantastic director.
Yes. Yeah.
Visually, just the way he uses music to like the crescendos that you mentioned in A Day in the Life, the way they used it. Great film. Highly recommend it. Great date movie too, especially it's a romantic comedy.
I depends on who you're taking, because there was one guy who I think he had to have been at least 50 to the right of me, a couple seats down, who by the end of it was audibly snoring.
No, there was an old woman. There was an old woman to the left of me when I was watching it, and she was asleep in the first 20 minutes. But I feel like she was only there to sleep. And yeah,
she can't sleep at home, so she just go to sleep.
I guess she was also she was in the handicapped section, and it looks like she was brought there by another person.
Gotcha.
But was left there by a family member.
Do you have a like a big knowledge, or at least a passing knowledge of like the Beatles
I just
discography? Oh my god!
I just like the music. You
Yeah,
know,
but like you're familiar with the
I'm
music.
familiar with most of it. Yeah,
Okay.
I listen. Of course, I do what I always do and listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah,
In this
yeah.
case, the music of the Beatles after leaving the movie theater.
Yeah, that's. I was listening to the Beatles on my way over here.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and
Good
I've
music.
I've always been a really big Beatles fan. You know, I listened to them like nonstop in high school, and then I'm gonna get real
Uh-oh.
for a split second.
Oh.
So just be prepared for the realness.
Okay.
In college, when I was going through some darker times, that music, amongst a few other artists, got me through that.
Tough stuff. Yeah.
So, and I had two Beatles songs incorporated into my wedding and to events
Right.
during the wedding, not
Yeah.
just like playing in the background, but they were there for a specific reason. So like for me, as a big fan who has a deep connection to the music, it was a really good use of it, and I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to watching it again whenever it comes out on DVD. But yeah, if you were ever thinking about seeing a movie this weekend, I mean, there's some other movies coming out. Like you got Avengers coming out. You got some sort like a movie about
yeah,
a
the
kid
Avengers
going on a school
re-release.
trip through Europe and wearing some sort of weird spider suit. But
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's some movies out there, but
You s-
yesterday's a great.
You started that, and I'm like, what the hell is he talking about?
I'm talking about Euro Trip.
Yeah, oh, Euro Trip
Yeah.
10.
That classic.
Yeah. I will say there were some plot elements that were kind of finicky, especially towards the end. But I think if you just go in.
It was in full romantic.
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. Well, and
I think I know what you mean.
if you go into it knowing that ostensibly it will not give you really any answers, and it's not there to do that,
Oh yeah.
then you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Um,
Just go in if you enjoy Beatles music and you enjoy the actors involved and you just want a good wholesome film.
a
Then
lot,
yeah, go in.
lot of heart
Yeah.
and love put into it.
Oh yeah. And again, I love Lily James, and my heart was broken when her
Yes.
heart was broken.
Oh, poor Lily.
But this has been our review of yesterday.
What else did you watch?
Oh, so Legion started back up. Its final season.
The FX series.
Yes. It is based off of the X-Men character Legion.
Who
But-
is do you know who?
Charles Xavier's son.
Okay.
Charles Xavier is in this newest season.
Is he really?
Yeah.
God damn, that fucking property is such a goddamn mess.
It is, but it's also a very fantastic show.
That's what
It's-
I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so trippy and like there's so many plot threads happening simultaneously and also at the same time like in somebody's head, and so it's very confusing. But it's so well directed. It's created and showrun by the same person who created and showrun Fargo on FX as well,
Oh,
Noah Hawley.
Okay.
And I just love his work because Fargo's fantastic.
Another one I need to watch.
Oh, it's so good. It's on Plex, along with Legion, and I highly recommend both shows.
Yeah.
They're every single season of each show that he's been behind, it's always different from the season before. Like even if the season may be connected to the previous one,
Right.
it's always got a different feel to it. Like he's always trying to experiment with whether it be directing or screenwriting or just visual representation of things that obviously shouldn't be on film. I think a lot of what he does is really well done, and Legion just started, so I'm looking forward to. Unfortunately, it's the final season,
Right.
but from what I read on his Twitter, it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah,
You always planned it this
I
way?
remember when he announced that this season was going to be the final one.
Yeah.
That he said that this was not a cancellation;
Right.
it was just an ending.
Yeah, which I love.
Yeah,
I
it's
love that.
great when that can happen.
Yeah, when they plan and they actually get to the end and they're like, all right,
Game
That's
of
it.
Thrones will forever serve as a great example of if you don't know where you're going, that's all you're going to be remembered for. You know how
Yeah.
many people just don't even want to talk about Game of Thrones anymore
Yeah.
because they have such a sour taste in their mouth?
Even though they released the preview, and I'm doing quotes here, the preview for the Game of Thrones, they started filming
The prequel
series.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, people are still going to watch
Yeah.
it, but they're going to go in with like, all right, they're going to nitpick every single thing.
It's not going to be like the build up for a Game of Thrones season that
Yeah.
was like, oh my gosh, Game of Thrones is coming back on. Finally, we had to wait for 2 years for this. And
Yeah, it's like I'm more excited for Watchmen,
yes,
the
yeah.
HBO series, than I
yeah.
am this.
Yeah, that I would classify that as interest for me as opposed to excitement.
Cautious
Yeah.
interest. No, I totally understand. Yeah, because it's all unknowns for that show.
Yeah.
We don't
And then
know
we
if
have
it's-
Westworld, which is like,
Eh.
what's the word? Morbidly interested.
Yeah, I stopped halfway through season 2 of Westworld. I couldn't take it anymore.
Bad. That's bad.
It's bad. Okay. Well, we'll just leave it at that. HBO's been churning out some like His Dark Materials looks interesting.
Yeah. Did that start yet?
No, I believe that's later this year or next year. Let me look that up.
Doop, doop.
Premiere in late 2019. That's Wikipedia.
Gotcha.
Take that with a grain of salt. A lot of HBO cool stuff.
Well, if it's November, I'm sorry to tell HBO, but I'll be too busy, knee deep in DuckTales reruns when Disney Plus comes out.
Knee deep
Knee
in
deep.
DuckTales reruns.
Yes, and Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing. Okay, so you're signing up for Disney Plus.
Oh yeah,
You're
obviously.
excited for that. I'll do it for the Mandalorian.
Fucking gargoyles better be on there.
Oh, of course it will. I hope. I don't know if that's Disney or if that's. I mean, it is
It's
Disney,
Disney.
but I don't know if it's like owned by the company that broadcast. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Well, the company that broadcasted it was Disney. So,
Was it?
Yeah, the Disney Channel.
I just don't know what I'm talking about then.
You
Talking
watch
ass.
too much Cartoon Network and not enough Disney Channel.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Dexter's Lab.
Oh yeah, this is great stuff.
I'm doing the rock and roll.
Cow and Chicken.
That one's okay. It was. I liked Cow and Chicken. I didn't like the fat devil character.
Yeah.
That was very creepy.
Oh, he's great.
I'm not gonna do the voice. I almost did the voice just a second.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can do the voice except for that guy.
Yeah, that's a very weird. And I feel like I would offend a lot of people too, especially 2019.
Two Stupid Dogs.
I hated that show.
Oh, you're full of shit.
I'm sorry. I loved Cat Dog. if
Cat
that's
Dog
okay.
was Nickelodeon.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
You're a terrible child.
I am a terrible child. Angry Beavers, that's Nickelodeon, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Angry Beavers.
Real Monsters.
I hate Ari Monsters only because I don't like the animation style of it.
That's
I don't
fine.
like the Rugrats.
Yeah, the rat cats guy. I can't remember.
The
his name.
like the very dirty-ish type of
The
animation
sketch
style.
animation.
Yeah. Although I like Rocco's Modern Life. I thought
Yeah.
that was fantastic. Anyway, childhood. Let's get into the main. Let's get into the main.
Was that all you watched? Was
Oh, that and I'm trying to finish Evangelion, but I can only do it a couple episodes at a time because I'm working. When I
Right.
get off, I have to do a couple things.
How far are you?
I think I'm. Hold on, let me check my Netflix really quick. I think I'm episode 16. Sorry for the S.
Got about. Well,
No,
little-
I'm episode 19. I need to start.
okay, so you have less than 10 to go.
Yeah, I think it's 26 episodes. So I'm in the
26 episodes, and then you have.
like. He literally
Movie.
just screamed about the fourth children. It was after that
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
I'm not trying to spoil anything, but
I'm
Like,
not-
for the people who
that's not
know.
what that was. Yeah.
okay, all right. And then I need to watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is on Netflix now.
Yes.
And apparently Seven Seeds just premiered.
Yes, which I hear is awful.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, then never mind. I'll give it the one episode. Like, let's see how bad this
Yeah.
is. Because Netflix, when it comes to anime, is always hit or miss. Like, Force the
Yeah.
Piano, I heard was really good. Agretzko, Kill la Kill, Castlevania.
Did you ever
Kinda-
finish season 2 of Castlevania? Or did you?
I'm just going back to the beginning, but
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
on my queue. It's on my queue. And then A Silent Voice is a fantastic anime movie.
Have you watched that?
I have.
So, I just heard rumblings about this today, actually.
Really?
Yeah, and heard how good it is. So
Yes.
I think I'm gonna probably watch that either tonight or tomorrow.
It was released in theaters.
2016, I think.
What's up?
2016, right?
It says 2016. Yes. Yeah. It was released in American theaters. Like, I was gonna go see it.
Oh yeah.
But it was one of those I didn't have the money or time at the time.
Yeah, I think I might do a double feature with that one and Your Name.
You haven't seen Your Name? Oh my God! Get prepared. Be prepared to cry.
Yeah. Well, that's what I hear with the other one. So.
And then also watch Wolf Children, and then just fucking sob.
It's all right.
I love Wolf Children. It's such a good movie.
I haven't been emotionally wrecked like I was with Clan Ad in a while. So.
Oh yeah. Well. Oh boy. Be prepared to be fully invested in some Japanese teenagers.
Woo.
Woo. Let's get into the main, because we're talking about anime.
Yes.
We're talking about I don't know the segue. Asian cinema. That's the segue.
Tangential relationship at best.
If foreign cinema, because we are two white guys in America. Let's talk about there was some movies that came out this weekend and like yesterday, and Midsommar is next week.
Yeah.
I was
because it comes out with Spider-Man.
I was gonna mention that. Yeah,
or
Spider-Man. Far From Home is coming out, but I was like, I haven't seen it, so we can't talk about it. And we kind of already talked about superhero movies, so I was like, hey, let's
do a random one.
Let's do a random one. Let's talk about let's watch some Jackie Chan movies, and then you bailed on me.
Wow, we were supposed to watch them together.
Yes. We were supposed to watch them together, and then you bailed on me because
I'm a terrible friend.
No, I mean, yeah, but no. The wife got sick, which I totally understand. I'm not putting you on the spot, you monster. But we ended up having to watch them separately. We had 3 movies in when we put them on the list. We had, and let us know if you've seen them, Drunken Master, the original, 1978.
Yes.
Because there is a reboot.
The Legend of the Drunken Master.
Legend of the Drunken Master that came out in 1994. And these are all Jackie Chan movies. I should have said at the top.
I think you said that.
Did I?
I think so.
Okay. Well, if I did, I'm saying it again. Jackie Chan movies. 3 Jackie Chan movies. Because Jackie Chan is the #1 martial arts master. Suck it, Jet Li.
Wow.
Yeah. No, we'll probably do a Jet Li episode.
Probably. Well, when you first did the list, it also had
Fist of Legend.
Fist of Legend in there.
Because it's a good movie.
But it was Fist of Legend, Rush Hour, and Drunken Master. And I'm like, is it Fist of Legend, Jet Li?
Yes, and I'm glad that you caught that.
But I was like sitting there, and I'm like, is fucking Jackie Chan in Fist of Legend somewhere? And I don't realize it.
I threw you for a loop, and I apologize. The 3 movies, Drunken Master, 1978. The other one was Police Story.
Yes.
The first one.
85.
Out of 5, yeah.
No, 85.
85, yes. Sorry. Yeah, this is when it came out.
Is there more Police Stories?
Oh, yeah, there's Police Story 2.
No, I mean more than 5. Is there more?
I think there's 4 or 5 of them. Because there was Police Story, Lockdown is what it was called for the last one. 2013. And then the final movie was Rush Hour. Because I wanted to... You really hate Rush Hour? Do you want to start with Rush Hour?
We can start with it. I actually was okay with Rush Hour going in.
It doesn't sound like you were.
No, I was. Had actively remembered, I really liked Rush Hour. It was kind of a dumb, goofy buddy cop movie. But I really remembered enjoying it. It was actually that, the Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes, the original Lara Croft Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie, and I believe Zoolander. All 4 of those were the first 4 movies I got on DVD when I got a DVD player.
Wow, I'm sorry. That's not a great list.
It's kind of a lopsided list there. But for a young child who has no context or taste, it's good. So what is this face you're making over here?
Sorry, I was gonna surprise you with a Jackie Chan quiz that you were gonna obviously fail.
Oh yes, yeah.
But some of the questions and how many there were on this one quiz, it's too much. So let's just talk about the movies. I was going to surprise you with another quiz, but
Well, thank God you didn't, because that would have been awful.
yeah, it would have been horrible for you to just.
I like my current quiz ratio, which I believe is sitting at like an 85-90% or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
It was pretty good on
somebody
that.
roll back the footage.
It was pretty good on that Disney.
It was
one.
okay.
Like, all things considered, how the fuck am I supposed to remember how many bows are on Cinderella's dress?
Because you're a number one Disney fan. You're the number one Disney fan.
I don't have a photographic memory though.
Apparently you do, because you remembered all the other stuff about all the bibbity boppity boo.
No, if you remember, most of the things I remember were audio cued.
I guess.
Which they have a tendency to stay with me more than picture. Anyway, so I went into this like not necessarily stoked for Rush Hour, but kind of like it's been a while.
Is it Chris Tucker you don't like?
No, well, it got old.
Yeah.
But, I was like on the positive side going into it. And
right.
Then it started, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I remember this. There's so much of this. I can't actually remember how many times I've seen Rush Hour as a child, but I watched it a lot.
Yeah.
Because as I stated, it was one of the first DVDs I owned.
Right.
So a lot of these were like, oh, yeah, I remember exactly how this sounds. And I'm like playing into the back of my head as it's happening. Yeah, it did not hold up for me, man. It was actually pretty sad.
Oh. What? I mean, like, why are you so down about it, though? Like,
it's like the same joke for an hour and 30 minutes.
From Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
Being super racist.
Jackie Chan doesn't understand what the N-word means. Like,
yeah.
That's fucking stupid, man. There's no fucking way that would happen.
Because he knows English. Yeah. He would know what that word means. But, I mean, like, there was the internet back then, 98.
It worked.
It worked.
It was there.
Yeah, so he would have been able to know what that word means.
Yeah,
he lived in Hong Kong. They speak English in Hong Kong.
There were some good fight scenes, but I'll also put this into context. I watched Drunken Master first.
Right.
So
compared to that,
fight scene wise, it's just kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
Brett Ratner, I think, did Rush Hour.
Yes. That piece of shit.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy, by the way. If you don't know, Brett Ratner is just a disgusting piece of shit that sexually assaulted.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, people.
Well,
moving on.
I'm here to say that I don't enjoy his movie.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I felt the same when I was watching it. I didn't realize how many jokes would not age well in 2019.
Yeah.
Not that they should have aged well then.
How many jokes of race can we make in an hour and a half?
It's Chris
apparently
Tucker.
An hour and a half.
Yeah.
Where's the break?
But the fighting was cool.
Yeah, it was all right.
It was all right. Like, it was very Hollywood.
Yeah, well, and there's not, like, except for the occasional scene where it's like, oh, Jackie Chan's fighting, like, a group of people.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does.
That's what he does. He throwing chairs and stools.
But, like, one fight isn't even with people who are doing martial arts. They're just, like, trying to hit him with fucking pull cues the entire time. And
beating up some random citizens in a billiards hall.
I didn't actually laugh for most of the movie until the blooper reel at the end of it.
Yeah.
So,
because it's fun. They have to cut out all the funny stuff to make it seamless and non-comedy-esque. So you didn't like Rush Hour?
No.
So you're 0 for 1 so far.
Yeah.
What did you think of Drunken Master? I guess we can do that one.
Well, I would just go ahead and say up front that as I was watching these movies, I was trying to do them back to back. So I started with Drunken Master. Yeah. I went into Rush Hour. And maybe that has something to do with the fact why I was so drained by the end of it.
Yeah.
Because I started to watch Police Story. And it was like 1 o'clock. And I literally could not stay awake.
And you stay up later most of the time.
I do,
right?
yeah. But I was sitting on my couch. And I'm like falling asleep sitting up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, I'll come back to this tomorrow. But then the service I used to stream wasn't buffering correctly. Like, it would just sit there for like 30 minutes. Like, every minute, it would get me another 20 seconds worth of video.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't end up getting to watch Police Story, which now I'm super upset about because I could have used my rush hour time
Yeah.
on fucking Police Story instead.
Which is unfortunate. Out of all the 3 movies, I feel like I enjoyed Police Story the most.
Right.
Because you get a little bit of everything from Jackie Chan, except for the racist stuff that wasn't written for him, I'm guessing. But Police Story, you get a lot of action. You got some like Fast and Furious level stunts.
So I was reading up on it, and some of that stunt shit sounds fucking crazy.
Really, it's really cool stuff.
And he does all his own stunts.
Oh yeah, that's his whole shtick. So like, anytime you see him, like one of the final shots of the movie, he's sliding down a pole, and like there's a whole bunch of lights and glass and shit flying around. That's him. You know, probably cutting himself up 1,000 times, but like shit exploding, and you're like, oh wow, this is all practical. There's no way this is CG. So
why don't you tell me overall what you thought of Police Story, and then we'll go into like a joint thing.
Okay,
for
yeah.
Drunken Master.
Police Story. The story is that he's not a rookie cop. He's a sergeant who, at the beginning of the movie, he's part of a secret task force to bring down this drug dealer / businessman who's doing bad stuff. They don't go super into detail. It's just like, this is the bad guy.
Right. At the beginning, they're just like taking pictures of him. And
like,
it's like
hey,
an
this is the bad
undercover
guy.
sting.
Yeah, this is his henchman, like his number 2. They're like literally like, hey, this.
This is this woman. We don't know what she actually does.
Yeah,
despite that being our job.
She seems like a nice lady though, so like don't treat her like an evil person. So yeah, they end up doing this, and the bust goes bad when one of the bad guys notices an earpiece in one of the guys, and so there's a big shootout in this
village.
Like it's not shantytown. I want to say like it's, but yeah, it's
like a little like a shanty village.
Yeah. So there's not like electricity or anything like that. But so a drug deal's going on. They see the guys. Shootout happens. Jackie and this other guy are in the middle of a crossfire, and the guy is like, "Oh, I can't do anything. I'm shaking everywhere." And then he ends up pissing himself after he kills a guy. And then they never show that guy again. Like, what happens to that guy?
Oh, they don't.
No.
I got to the point after the shootout, and there's a big chase scene.
Yeah. Did you get to the cars coming down the hill?
Coming down the fucking mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
That's really cool.
Eventually, so the drug lord gets boxed in because they block off the roads to get out.
Like,
so. What do you do if you are a drug lord and you're trying to avoid cops?
You drive down the hill.
Drive through the fucking civilians, man. Yeah. You don't give a shit about them.
They have a wide shot where they show people on the buildings.
The hills.
Yeah, like as they're exploding and everything.
Yeah, they're
really
driving
crazy.
through these homes and explosions are going. So Jackie Chan is chasing them.
Yeah,
as this is happening in his own car.
Yeah,
and they eventually get down to the road. They crash. The drug lords run off and hijack a bus.
Yeah,
and then
the slowest bus.
Jackie Chan is attempting to get on the bus, and I got to right after that scene.
So he starts running down a hill, like at a 45-degree angle, maybe even more, which is just insane to me. And then he ends up jumping down, and he stops the car that's coming the other way, and he's like, "All right, just get out of the car, get out of the way." Turns around, unbuttons his jacket, like his one-piece jumper, pulls out his gun, and just points it at the bus, which is so badass. Yeah. It's such a cool shot.
It is.
And so what ends up happening is the bus stops. We're not gonna go over scene by scene.
Recap,
But it's just a really cool shot. The bus ends up stopping, and 3 of the bad guys like crash out of the front of the bus, and like Jackie doesn't move and is still pointing the gun. It's just it's really cool. So this movie's really cool.
So from there, he is kind of admonished by his boss.
Yeah.
And then eventually he basically has to foil this plot to frame him.
Right.
Is what
that's part 2 of the plot. The beginning of the plot is he's having to take care of the woman who was the drug lord's like secretary, kind of.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of that, and then there's like a little romantic subplot with Jackie Chan's girlfriend, who, by the way, in the dub of Police Story, his character's name is Jackie Chan.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought his name was Kevin.
No, in the U.S., the U.K., and the Australian dubs, it's Jackie.
Oh my gosh.
But in every other version, it's Kevin. Kevin Chan.
That's right. Well, okay, so I guess with Police Story and Drunken Master, did you watch the English dubs?
Yes.
Okay, I did not.
Oh, you watched it in Japanese with subtitles.
Chinese.
Chinese. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. For all our viewers internationally, I feel like you did it yourself a disservice, especially with Drunken Master, because it's the greatest dub of all fucking time.
I'll go back and watch it because I really enjoyed Drunken Master, but there's plenty in that fucking movie to laugh at.
Oh yeah,
without the dub.
I'm gonna show you a video really quick, but yeah, I took the picture of the thing. That's your profile picture whenever you call my phone now.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it is.
There's
now.
this fucking. Oh my god. Okay, so
and it's not like meant to be a joke or anything. They play that for real.
No, they do. So there's this scene in Drunken Master where Jackie Chan's character is like trying to run away for reasons, and then he goes into this fucking like what would you call it? Like a soba shop? Almost?
Yeah, like soba noodle
like
shop.
Noodles and stuff. And he basically tries to steal food.
Yeah, a lot of food.
Yeah, and this fucking waiter that is taking his orders.
Yeah,
I kid you not. If fucking Donald Trump did an impression of an Asian man,
yeah, if he dressed up as one,
this would be what he pictured.
Yes, a very very big.
Nick is showing me part of the English dub.
It's like all of the dub is just done by what I assume is a random group of teenagers who managed to sneak into the building and steal a copy of the film and dub over it themselves. There is one line where Jackie Chan says to the main villain at the end of the film, he's like, the main villain's threatening him. He's like, go home and go clean up some shit.
Go pick up pig shit.
Yeah. So in the English dub, he says, you're about to be a body without an ass for no reason. And I don't even know what that means. But then they start fighting.
He's just going to kick his ass so hard.
It's going to come off.
Fall off.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
So slightly different.
Yeah, the dub.
Original.
I should have just told you to watch the dub, because the dub for Jackie Chan, or especially older films, where he doesn't do it himself.
Well, and I know he doesn't do it in the original either.
No.
They have dubbed over, it seems like, the original with post voices. I don't know why.
Just probably like VO.
Probably cheaper that way, I guess. I don't know. But yeah,
it's good. The next time we watch a Jackie Chan film that's older, especially like trying to think of another one, because Police Story and Rumble in the Bronx. Oh my God, yes, that movie's fantastic, and that's even an American American production.
Yeah, I wish we had picked Rumble in the Bronx as opposed to Rush Hour.
Oh really? I guess. Well, I wanted to pick a more modern film.
I know what you were doing. I still wish you hadn't done it.
You should have told me. We would have picked.
Well, I said before, like, I was like, okay, yeah, Rush Hour, sure, that can't be bad. I remember it'd be good.
That will have aged well.
Yeah. Nope. But I really enjoyed Drunken
Master. Glad I didn't pick Rush Hour 3.
Yeah. Man, I thought I liked Rush Hour 2 as well, but now I'm scared to go back and watch that one.
That one I remember being the best one out of the 3. But you didn't finish Police Story. I highly recommend going back and finishing it if you can.
I did finish Drunken Master, though, and even though I didn't get the hilarity of the English dub, there is still plenty of comedy in this. It is like a straight 50-50 mix of humor and martial arts.
I agree. With it being an older film, there's definitely some pacing issues.
Oh, yeah. It is extremely long-winded, especially in the middle. And then the ending is ridiculously abrupt.
Yeah. Like, they do a whole, like, him being trained by can't remember the character's name.
So Beggar.
So Beggar is what they call him?
In the original, it's S-O space Beggar, like a beggar.
I think they call him So Long. They call him So Long.
Do they? Well,
Yeah.
they like the whole in the original he's So Beggar because he's a beggar.
Yeah.
And his first name is So.
Yeah, and
he doesn't like live anywhere. He just walks around.
Well, do you remember the staff guy that he fights?
Yeah.
They call him Bamboo King.
Yeah, that's
in
not
the dub.
His name.
They just use titles and names interchangeably in the older films.
What did they call the guy who tries to cheat them when they're gambling?
Is that towards the beginning of the film?
No, it's when they're training.
Oh,
and
the head guy.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I just remember him having head in his name.
In the original, he's Rat, the Ironhead Rat, or something like that.
Because he has
the eyebrows.
The eyebrows, yeah. No, all of the the mini villains that they have intercut in the middle of the film to like have him show his training and how it's going on are pretty villains. But they do that to extend the runtime of the film.
Like not just focused on.
But it's like a 2-hour film.
The movie's kind of weird. Yeah, it's almost 2 hours. Because there's no like central plot.
No.
It starts with Jackie Chan's character's name.
Freddie Wong, not the YouTuber.
No. Is that what it is in the English dub?
It's Freddie Wong.
It's not that in the original. I'm not going to look it up.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
That's
my thing.
He gets sent off for training.
Because he's a little shit.
Yeah, he's an asshole. Boy, this does not paint a good light for Jackie Chan at the beginning of the movie.
No. All he's doing is rabble-rousing with some friends.
Yeah, and like...
having his cousin kiss him. Whatever.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that when it happened.
I know.
It's a classic Luke Leia situation.
Oh.
If Darth Vader then showed up and happened to be your aunt.
Oh, God. Yeah. What are you doing kissing your...
So he basically accosts this young woman in the market.
Yeah.
And ends up being his cousin, and he gets his ass whipped by someone who ends up being his aunt.
Mm.
And then because of this, and he beats up like this rival family's son.
Yeah, because he was because the rival family's
Lord
son
or something like.
I don't.
It's weird.
Because towards the end of the film, the father comes back. And he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy the whole town."
Right.
And Jackie Chan's dad is like, "Nope."
It's like a feudal kind of pyramid. Yeah. But I don't know where this guy fills in. But
they don't really explain it because he shows up twice. One to be like, "Hey, what'd you do to my kid?"
Yeah.
Have Jackie Chan apologize, and then they have a fight scene. And then towards the end, he's like, "Hey, I'm buying the whole town," and Jackie Chan's dad is like, "Nope." So the rival
other guy hires an assassin.
Yeah, the assassin they introduced at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And then that's the whole end.
The whole town, like him hiring the assassin, is the climax of the movie.
Yeah.
But basically, because Jackie Chan's being this asshole, his dad like semi banishes him.
Yeah,
for
he's like,
a year.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, you're gonna go train with your uncle."
Oh God, man, this fucking dumb, man. I don't know.
Like it was,
we're so on different pages.
Well, no, like it's not like his uncle, but he's like, "You're gonna go train with this old drunk guy off in the mountains because I hate you, and otherwise I'll fucking banish you from the family."
Yeah.
And the aunt is like, "Yeah, cool. You're never gonna see us again."
Yeah. In the original, he doesn't. There's no familial relationship. He's just like, "I'm gonna get Beggar So to come. Like, you're gonna train with him."
It was similar to that.
Okay.
I think there was just maybe like one or two words that was like it seemed familial.
Yeah. No, he has no connection.
Just he happens to know a homeless drunk guy. And
well, okay. So in the English dub, is his father a master of a kung fu art?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole school and everything.
So that's kind of how they explain that, is that they're both kung fu masters of different styles. And that Jackie Chan's dad knows that this Beggar So guy, or Beggar
So Long.
So Long.
Yeah. Like, so long.
Yeah.
That's how I remember.
Has
unfortunately.
a secret style that nobody else knows.
Yeah.
So he gets sent off to train with him, which drags on for a little bit because like most of it is Jackie Chan's character being like, I don't want to train.
Yeah.
Like, this is bullshit.
Being a little shit.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want to learn a new martial art? But he doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't see it that way. It's a very Karate Kid situation.
Yeah.
Until like 30, 40 minutes later, where it's like, oh,
I'm trying to train you,
Yeah.
fucking idiot.
yeah, the wax on, wax on thing. All you need to do is get drunk, and then you start to do it right. And then there's the whole like montage that they do really, really quick with the 8 different gods of drunken.
I actually didn't think that was quick. I thought that was a little long too.
Oh, okay.
But I guess that happens when you have 8 different styles that you're trying to show.
Yeah, and just like flipping the page. All
Yeah.
right, do this.
And that, like, the final drunken god being a woman.
Yeah.
And we've already established how this movie treats women in
Oh, yeah.
general. So
He starts doing
he's- Like,
yeah, because that's
and
how
then he
all
doesn't
women
even
are.
bother to learn it, which comes back into play at the end.
That's good writing.
Kind of, except it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he didn't learn it because, just mix all the 7
Yeah,
gods
he's like,
together.
hey, just fucking, just wing it. Because, like, he ends up meeting with the assassin because the assassin starts attacking his Jackie Chan's dad. And Jackie Chan's like, don't fight him. I'll fight him. I learned a new style.
Yeah.
It's been a year. Hello, father. And so he starts fighting him. And then the drunk master's like, hey, remember when I said, I'm no longer your master. I'm going to go travel the world?
I'm just going to show up.
I'm going to show up and I want to watch. Brings popcorn.
I wouldn't miss this fight.
Yeah. So he sits down. It's like he's coaching him while he's fighting the main boss.
I was
guy.
expecting him to be like, I'll step in and then die.
Yeah.
But, that's like standard.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But no, unfortunately, he's like, just fuck it. Mix all 7 styles
together.
or all
And
6
that'll
gods.
create your own 8th drunken god.
Yeah. And plus, you've already drank like 100% proof alcohol, rice wine.
Yeah.
Which is apparently really powerful stuff.
Is that what they say in the dub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said it's 100% proof.
They don't even mention the proof. They're just he takes a drink. So basically, when Jackie's getting his ass kicked,
Yeah.
he gets thrown this wine, which is like the secret to the drunken style. Obviously, is you just get drunk.
Yeah. Which is apparently not true in real life.
No. And he starts drinking and he's like, oh, this is like really strong. What is this? And then what he says is like an actual label, or like that's what he passes it off as.
It's Diet Coke rice wine. It's like brings up the fucking can.
Yeah, he doesn't mention the proof or anything. He's just like, I'm assuming it's from like a district. It's like such and such wine.
Oh yeah, probably
like,
makes sense back then
really
in 1978.
Yeah.
And then it ends abruptly. Like he beats the shit out of him, and then they all hug in the end.
He literally kills the assassin.
Yeah, but does he kill him?
That's what I got it because he stopped breathing and then he was like stepping.
Oh, he just kind of collapsed in my opinion because like he does the back thing.
But that's after he like crushes his larynx and like his skull.
Like they intercut it between the montage parts where he crushes some walnuts with his fingers.
Right.
It feels like he pinched it and then he just let go and then did the head thing and then let go.
I could get that. I think what they were trying to show, because they couldn't be like super graphic or
right.
anything.
I mean,
the most graphic that this movie gets is occasionally someone like spits up some blood.
Yeah,
that's about it.
So it's very like it's PG enough.
But I think the way they were using those cuts to the earlier pictures of the walnut and the whatever the big one was.
It was like a jar of cookies or something.
I think that's what he was actually doing to him, but they couldn't show like blood splurting out. Like they can't show him tearing out his larynx.
I guess that would really be the only way to stop the assassin from waking back up and kicking
That's
his
how
ass.
I took it. He kills him, and then everybody celebrates for like less than 20 seconds.
Yeah, like they're like, yeah,
yay,
and then it's
and
the
then
end.
at the end.
That's how films end. Yeah. They're like, oh shit, we're running out of film.
So there's like a shit ton of foreplay, but no cuddling after.
Well, there's like half of this movie is kung fu fighting.
Yes, it is a lot.
There's a lot of fighting in it. So you can't say you didn't get, what you paid for.
Oh, no. You definitely had the sex. I'm saying you didn't get the cuddles afterwards.
Oh.
There was no cigarette for you. It was just, get the fuck out of my house now.
I don't smoke. If anything, I chew gum after, because...
Okay, there's no gum for you.
No!
Have a Hubba Bubba day. Get out.
No, I need the gum. I think that's going to be the episode title. But I was gonna mention because we're talking about the ending being so abrupt. I don't want to spoil Police Story's ending because it's.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that it was.
But
pretty...
the ending is just like kind of a subplot to, especially even like modern day action films, or at least when it comes to like police work and all of that stuff. You need to still follow the law and everything. Towards the end of the film, he ends up being kind of a cop who doesn't play by the rules type of thing. And towards the end of the film, they're like, all right, we got the bad guy. And Jackie Chan's like, oh, no, my girlfriend got hurt. He's like, yeah, you should go check on your girlfriend. But then he just starts beating the shit out of the main bad guy, and then credits roll. Well, that's it. Then. Like, they're like, all right, we have him in custody. He's like, nope, I'm going to kick the shit out of him, and keeps kicking the shit out of him.
China is a different place.
And then it cuts to the credits, and it's like Jackie Chan directing like all the stunt doubles and everything. Right. It's like, oh, fun times. It's like, where are the rules? Yeah, because the captain says to the superintendent, he's like, maybe I should follow the paperwork for this one. And the superintendent's like, what paperwork?
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Well, what's better, that or the 99.9% conviction rate out of Japan? There's no way for you to be innocent in Japan.
No, Jackie Chan is going to jail at the end of all of these films.
That's China, but yeah.
I said Japan, didn't I?
No, I said Japan, but you responded with Jackie Chan. It was a separate segue.
Okay, we're both massively incorrect.
We were going in separate directions.
We don't know what we're talking about.
Anyway, so back to Drunken Master.
Yeah.
I think it may sound like I'm harping on it a little bit, but I did enjoy it. I actually really liked it. As long-winded as it is, it's just like random shit.
Yeah.
it's just fun.
Reasons to have a fight at the end of that scene. Yeah. And that's why I love that's why I like old kung fu movies as opposed to more recent like modern action kung fu films. Because in modern films they're like, all right, but we need to have a story that makes sense behind it.
Right.
Which is what we want from most films. Yes. Don't get me wrong.
But I also think there's a place for kind of letting you stool and the nonsense for a little bit. Like a lot of this movie is just like Jackie Chan fucking around with Beggar So.
Yeah. So long.
Yeah. In a field.
Yeah.
Like I think total that's probably like 40 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it's just a large chunk of the movie. That's what I was like nodding off the first time. Like just going like I was.
But when it's going and the music is kicking in, and I'm like, this is just some utter nonsense.
Yes.
And I like it.
Yes. But for sure, next time, you need to watch it in the dub.
Yeah, apparently.
It's so much better. Because you get like the hilarious jokes like on screen, but then you also get the really, it's not bad, but like either the translation or the voice actor just it doesn't connect well.
Yeah, I definitely see the value in that because I love that kind of thing where it's like just stupid.
Yeah.
And contextually it doesn't make sense, but I also think in the original format there's enough, like you said, on screen and verbally. Like there is wordplay going on.
Birdplay?
Wordplay.
Oh, okay.
Not birdplay. Although some birds do get dropped in a cage. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
In
that bird is dead.
Yeah, that original in the beginning, with the son of the other feudal lord or whatever.
Yeah, the shithead that breaks the jade thing.
He has like a helper carrying a cage with two birds
for some reason,
and which eventually like Jackie Chan ends up like kicking the shit out of it, and he drops the bird cage. Yeah. And you hear the birds go like chirp.
Yeah,
and I'm like, those poor birds.
Yeah, and that's you don't focus on that or anything.
You know, and that I did have an issue with that scene too because his dad gets really pissed off at him, but he was. Like, that was okay what he did. I think from, like, at least...
Wait, Jackie Chan's character's dad?
Because the whole reason he ends up beating up this kid or this other guy is, like, he essentially is trying to take, like, a precious heirloom from a villager.
Yeah.
Who's asking for...
money for it.
For, like, a certain amount. And then he gives him like a very small fraction. It's like he's asking for $10 and he gives him 10 cents.
Yeah, that's what it was in the dub.
And then when the guy is like, no, you can't take that for 10 cents. Please give it back to me. Here's your 10 cents back.
Yeah.
He throws it on the ground, breaks it. And so now he has no money and no heirloom to sell. And so Jackie Chan's character comes in to kind of fight for the people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like not a societal thing. What's the word? Cultural thing, I guess.
Where fighting is just totally cool.
No. Complete opposite, actually. Whereas, like, I'm watching that and being like, well, he's sticking up for this
villager.
guy.
Yeah.
So he's the good guy in this scenario. But when they're like throwing this accusation at him in front of his father, he never defends himself.
Never brings up the fact that
they're like, well, this is what actually happened. Like, the scenario that took place isn't actually discussed. It's just the fallout.
Maybe
Which I guess it might be like an honor thing. Like, you can't disagree with your father or something. Like, I don't know.
It might be that he just doesn't want to stand up to his father because he respects his father in a way.
Or is scared of him.
Or
he's literally cowering in fear.
Yeah, I mean that. But also, he might just be an idiot.
That too.
Jackie Chan just may be stupid.
He is an idiot in this film.
I mean, I know that's kind of a really dumb excuse. No pun intended.
I'm not like knocking it in terms of like I think it's a worse movie for it. That just was bugging.
It was a weird thing.
In that entire scene, I was like, okay, well, are they actually going to discuss what happened here,
and
or
he ends up defending himself, quote unquote, by kicking the ass of another henchman from the rival family.
Yeah, they basically have a trial by combat.
Yeah. And then he kicks the shit out of him and kicks the shit out of the guy he already kicked the shit out of.
Yeah.
So it worked out in a way. And he still ends up getting sent off to Beggar So Long.
Yeah.
But great film. Police Story and Drunken Master. Rush Hour you hated.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again.
That's wow. I mean, that's fair. I'm not going to say it's a bad, horrible film, but it's definitely dated. Just like the other two films. I mean, there was some racist and misogynist quote unquote jokes in all three.
I think we mentioned the waiter. Yeah, man. Fuck. That was I literally took a picture of this guy who has like teeth going past his bottom lip.
Yeah.
The actor, I don't know if you caught it because
in the dub he has horrible he can't speak.
Yeah. He's like muffled. He can't move his mouth because of these fake teeth there.
That's why I thought it was like he's like undercover or something.
Yeah.
And there's like a joke, but no. Even the dub people are like, oh, we need to make this a joke.
Yeah. No, it's completely played straight. This guy with teeth past his
Because he's one of the sons
lip.
of the owners.
And I literally took a close-up picture of this guy, and I sent it to you, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's your profile picture from now on. But I mean, there was just a couple of Jackie Chan films. There's obviously a lot of
like
great
we said,
Jackie
Rumble
Chan
in
films.
the Bronx, and what's the one that just came out recently, like within the last year or two, where he was trying to avenge his daughter.
I know what you're talking about. The Foreigner?
The Foreigner, that's what it is. Yeah.
I heard that was good. I never saw it. I think it came out the same week as another movie I was really excited for.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up after. But he's still, I mean, he's not acting as much anymore.
Mr. Nice Guy?
That's when he started doing a lot of
American ones. Right?
American ones like The Tuxedo and The Medallion.
The Medallion.
That's not good.
That's not a good movie.
It's not. That's in the early 2000s when they start using CG way too much.
Yeah, that was rough.
The Tuxedo was another bad one.
Crime Story.
If you've heard good things about it, like vaguely about a Jackie Chan movie, it's probably good. The older you go with a Jackie Chan film, the probably better off you are.
Right.
Except for The Intruder, I heard was actually really good.
Was it?
Yeah. I'll have to give that a shot.
And he has always done, not always, but generally done his own stunts.
Right.
To the point where he has like a massive amount of injuries.
He's broken just about every bone in his body.
Yeah, burned skin off. I think on that pole one you were talking about, he burned his skin off and had spinal damage from it.
Yeah. And I think he almost lost his eye in one scene. In Drunken Master, not...
knocked out teeth, dislocated shoulders, finger bones, knee damage, ankles, skull fracture, bone cave-in behind the left ear, and brain bleeding from falling out of a tree in the armor of God. Jesus.
He's still doing movies.
He is.
He just does a lot of, like... He doesn't do, like, kung fu or, like, action movies anymore.
Yeah, I mean, well, would you after...
all the, well,
30 years of spinal damage.
and he's like 65 ish.
Yes.
He's older than Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise still I mean, he still does his own stuff, but
Jackie Chan is 65.
I was on it. All right,
Sure.
cool. But he's like, his most recent film was a sequel to a Chinese Russian film called Vi. Had Arnold Schwarzenegger, Rutger Hauer, Jason Fleming, and a lot of actors I didn't remember.
I also forgot he was in the Karate Kid.
Yeah, he was in the
He was
reboot.
Yeah, the reboot. He plays the master to Jaden Smith.
A lot of people hate that version of the movie. I didn't
It's
think it was
fine.
that bad. It
Yeah,
was
that's
fine.
fine.
It was just a reboot
It's
that
a
no
little
one really
different,
needed.
but yeah, it's fine.
Jackie Chan, thank you for your service in action films. We'll have to do this again, maybe with Jet Li or
Bruce
I-
Lee.
Tony Jaa.
Yeah.
Or Iko Uwe
Or
with
we
the
just
Raid
do,
movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could just do a mishmash, and then we can watch some people die violently in the Raid.
Ooh, I love those movies so bad.
So good.
I'm gonna wait a long time for the Raid 3. Really upset about that.
Yeah, you will. The Raid proves that the higher you are from a surface level, if you're a villain and you are above the ground level,
Yes.
like on a table,
Yes.
you are going to die
Oh yeah.
horribly.
You're basically gonna get thrown off the top floor into the bottom floor.
The injuries you sustain are directly proportional to how tall that table is.
How tall that building is, yeah. We'll have to talk about that in another episode. I can't talk.
It's okay.
This has been Nicknames Movies,
Were we
where
not-
the cinema. What? What do you want, Zach?
Oh, well, we're skipping something, dude. It's your podcast.
What? I'm sorry. What? Since we talked about Jackie Chan, I'm leaving all this in. Since we talked about Jackie Chan and some great kung fu movies, some great action movies, what would be a required watch in that vein, in that world of kung fu action movies?
Let's see. Ong Bak is
Dang
good.
it! Damn it! Fine, I'll go with my backup. Go ahead.
No, Ong Bak.
On Bak, the first one.
Yeah.
Did you watch 2 and 3?
No, I didn't.
They.
Well, no, I watched 2. I didn't watch 3.
You did watch 2. 3 is like a direct sequel to 2, so it's more of like the stuff in the past.
Yeah.
But Ong Bak 1 specifically.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to watch 2 and 3. Ong Bak is fantastic. It's a Thai film starring Tony Jaa. It's about a dude who afters 2 elephants, because when you're in Thailand and you own an elephant, you know, you're basically royalty.
Of course.
But his 2 elephants, I don't want to spoil it, but his elephants get taken, and so he goes and chases after the bad guys to get his elephants back. That's it. That's the plot.
Yeah.
And he breaks a lot of fucking bones.
He
It's
does.
a very brutal
He does.
film.
And in the same vein of straightforward plots that result in many people dying.
Yes.
The Raid. would
Damn
be
it!
Another one.
You took my backup.
Sorry.
Ah!
The Raid 2.
Oh, you son of a bitch. All 3 of those films are great. Since you took mine, and I can't come up with any on the spot. The Protector.
Protector's good. Rumble in the Bronx.
Rumble in the Bronx, we mentioned.
Yeah.
All of these films are required watches from Nicknames Movies. Zach, you highly recommend those.
Yes.
I do as well. Some of them have plots that make no sense, but you got to turn your brain off for some of these, all right?
Yep.
You just got to turn your brain off.
There's some gun katas in John Wick as well.
Yeah.
You can count that. There's some judo flips in there.
Equilibrium.
Yeah.
Ultraviolet.
Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite is a great film. Blaxploitation might be a genre that we may not get to in this podcast, though. Just
You
'cause
want to
I
watch
feel like
Blackula?
no, we're towing a line. We're towing a line, but we have
All
fun.
right.
Yes, I'm sorry I skipped this segment because this has been Nicknames Movies, where the cinnamon love never stops.
I love cinnamon.
But the cinema love never stops. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to hit the bell icon on YouTube if you make sure you don't miss any notifications whenever we upload a video. And if you'd like to see our content, or listen to our content a day early, you can always visit us at patreon.com/nicknamesmovies. Don't forget, you can also buy our merch at tpublic.com/user/nicknamesmovies. Where can they find you on Twitter?
I can be found on Twitter at fullmetal_Z.
Cool.
You can be found on Twitter
.com/nix_fire, NIX_fire. Thanks for listening, guys, and we will see you next week.